Hello everyone, this is Mike and welcome back to the channel. The topic for today's video is how to create a decimal, binary, and hex conversion chart to use during network exams. Now, let me just throw a bit of, bit of context in here. So when you see me do this, I'm going to be basically drawing this out in Microsoft Paint. And the kind of the point of it, and the way I see other people present this stuff is they will make fancy spreadsheets, make something that looks all graphic-y, looks very nice, looks very professional, and none of it is useful when you're going to take a network-related exam. And what I mean by a network-related exam is, let's say, CompTIA's A plus, Network plus, Security plus, Cisco's CCENT or CCNA, or some of the Microsoft network infrastructure exams, where you might have to work with converting from, let's say, binary to hex, or decimal to hex, or decimal to binary. And when you go take an exam, you can't bring any fancy charts in with you. So you only have what you're able to sketch down on the scratch paper that they give you when you're taking the exam, right? So any charts, and I use quite a few when I do networking stuff, any charts you have to be able to sketch out on that scrap piece of paper when you are first beginning the exam, or pretty much whenever you want to make it during the exam. But the point is, you got to sketch it out on paper with like like a dry erase marker or something like that. Okay, so you can't bring anything in with you. So this is just a quick chart you can make to help with this particular aspect of network related topics. Okay, so it's not that hard. It's 3 columns of data, decimal, hex, and binary. All right. So let me switch over to, as I said, Microsoft Paint. We're going fancy here. And what do we need to do? So the first thing that we need to understand with this is how to, let's say, convert from decimal to binary. Okay, so that's going to kind of be step number one, if you will. Okay, so again, we're going decimal to a binary. Right? Now, in order to do that, we are working with hex. So when you're working with the hexadecimal numbering system, you're working with basically 4 bits of data. Right? So that's what the hex numbering system is for. It's basically shorthand for binary. So hex has 16 positions in it, and that matches up as a power of 2. Right? So 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16. Right? So basically it's shorthand for binary. So one hex value equals 4 bits if you're talking binary. Okay. Now, in order to convert, the conversion that we can do easily on paper is this right here, decimal to binary. Okay, that's going to be your easiest. And I've already established here that we're working with 4 bits of data, so a grouping of 4 bits. So if you draw out the 4 bits like so, each bit is worth a different amount. Okay, so the bits to the right are worth the least to the bits to the left. Okay, which makes sense. I mean, everybody knows if you look at like your checking account balance, the number over here is worth a lot less than the number over here. Right? So let's say, for instance, let's draw what those values are worth in red here. So the first bit in our group of 4 is worth a value of 1. And then we double from there. So the next bit is worth a value of 2, value of 4, and a value of 8. Okay? Now let's say you want to convert a number, a decimal number. So let's say we have the number 10. Actually, let's not do that because that looks like binary. Let's do the number 21. Okay? Let's say we want to convert that to binary. So actually, let me rephrase that. I went too high. I need to go up to 15. So all right, let's say I'm going to do the number 4. All right. So what you do, let's say if that's the decimal number, you are going to turn on the bits that add up to the number 4. Okay. So the number 8 bit I don't need, so I'll leave that as a 0. The 4 bit I do need, the 2 I do not need, and the 1 I do not need. So 4 in decimal, if you look at it in binary, is 0, 1, 0, 0. All right. Now let's do about 9. All right. So 9 in decimal, what's that going to look like in binary? So I need, let's change the pen here. Let's maybe make this one green. So, and I'll redraw the number 9 there. So I need 9. All right. So I need to turn on the 8-bit. So I'll turn that on. Now, I don't need the 4-bit. I don't need the 2-bit. I need the 1-bit because 8 plus 1 is 9. So 9 is 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Let's say I want to do the number 11. Actually, let me make that a different color here. We'll do purple. So let's say I wanted to do the number 11. Okay, so what am I going to turn on? I'm going to need the 8-bit. So that gives me 8. And if you want to do the math for it, like you could do 11 minus 8, that would give me what? 3 left. So I don't need the 4-bit. I would need the 2-bit. So take 2 away, that leaves me 1 left. I turn on the 1-bit. Okay, so you're turning on the bits that add up to 11. Okay, and believe it or not, every combination here can make every decimal number up to the number 15. Right? So 1, 0, 1, 1 was our answer. Now, when I said the number 15, what did I mean by that? If you add up the numbers, 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So if you add up all the numbers, like if you turn on all the bits, that equals 15. Right? And then if all the bits are off, like right here, that gives you 0. Right? So that's the decimal number 0. So 0 in decimal, when you're doing this type of conversion, meaning you're working with 4 bits, would be 4 binary zeros. Okay? So that's kind of the first part of converting this stuff together. Right? So you're going to need to be able to convert from decimal to binary from decimal number 0 all the way up to decimal number 15. Right? So if you can do that, you can make the chart, right? And I mean, feel free, you can put this along the side here for what we want to do as well, okay? So let me take this and we'll go and start another blank canvas here and maybe write this, let me go back to black here and write out that position, okay? So again, we're working with groups of 4 bits because we're converting, because we're doing, in essence, hex in here, okay? So 1, 2, 4, and 8, okay? That's kind of a crummy looking 8 there. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to write out our chart, all right? So how I typically do it is I have a decimal column, I have a hex column, and I have a binary column, all right? And all you're going to do in hex is just write 0 to 15. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. What I'm writing is 16 positions, believe it or not, okay? Because you're starting at 0. 0 counts. That's one of the positions. And then you write the hex right next to it. All right, now with hex, it still starts out the same, where you have 0 through 9. And then after 9, it goes A, B, C, D. That D looks kind of crummy. Let me fix that. E, and then F. So you have 16 unique values, right? So that's the beauty of hex. It's made to represent, shorthand for binary. So binary, when you're counting up to, let's say, the first 16 positions, you need 16 unique values. That's where hex comes in. All right. And then on the binary side, you're going to write out the binary, okay, from the decimal values. Right. So again, we're working with groups of 4. Why? Because that's what hex is. Hex is groups of 4 bits. So you might be thinking, well, binary, it's just 0. But remember, we're working with groups of 4 bits. So I'm going to write out those 4 bits. And then the 1, the decimal 1 is going to be 0001. So what it means is I'm turning on the 1 bit over here, okay, and leaving the other bits off. So that gives me decimal number 1. 2, we're just going to turn on the 2 bit. 3, we're turning on the 2 and the 1 bit. The 4, like so. 5. And once you do this a lot, you can just kind of bang through this chart pretty quick. So for the 8, I just need to turn on the 8-bit. The 9, I need the 8 and the 1. 10, need those. 11, 12, I need the 8 and the 4 turned on. 13, 14, and then finally 15. And there's your chart. Okay, so again, if you're not quite sure what each of these is, I'm using this chart right here to convert the decimal number over to the matching binary number. All right. So again, this right here is a quick chart you can sketch together that is useful when you're working with doing different conversions. So for instance, like we do this with IPv6 addresses a lot because the v6 address is in hex and I need the binary. And in your head, there's no quick way to go from hex to binary. So kind of use decimal as the middle ground. So I can convert from binary to decimal, and I can very easily just match up the values from decimal to hex. Right? So like I said, IPv6 addresses use hex. Also registry values. If you look in the Windows registry, if you see something like, let's say, I don't know, you see 57, how do I know that's 57 and not 57 in hex? Well, if it's a value in the Windows registry, it'll normally be preceded by 0x. That's a common way to tell whoever you're documenting this for that that value is hex. So if I then needed to convert 57 from hex into binary, well, there's the 5 value right there. So that's 0101. And then the 7 values right here, and that's 0111. Right? So that allows me to convert, again, from let's say hex to binary. And if you wanted to go the other way, let's say I had, just make something up here, 1101, 0110. Okay, so there's 8 values there. Break it up into groups of 4. So there's a group of 4 right here. There's a group of 4 right here. So this group of 4, 1101, that's right here. So that's D in hex. And then 0110, that's this pattern right here. So that's 6. So that would be D6 in hex. All right, so that's just a quick way you could be able to use this chart here. So I hope everybody likes that. If you have any other questions or whatever, throw something down in the comments. I'm also thinking of doing some videos. I know mainly I've been posting PowerShell stuff, but I've been an IT trainer for 21 years now, and I have taught numbering systems, IP addressing, and all of that stuff quite a bit. So my specialty is I teach how to sketch it out. Okay, on a whiteboard, on a piece of paper. I don't use any fancy flowcharts or anything like that. No subnet calculators or anything like that. So I'm probably going to put together a few foundational videos for that kind of stuff. Let's say working with IP addressing, okay? Because that's also a hot topic for people who are beginning, A plus, network plus types of exams. So if anybody has any comments on that, again, throw it down in the comment section as well. I'd be happy to hear from you. All right, so with that, have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.